Alright guys, we're gonna jump straight into the video with this one, but before we do, I want to say a couple things. One, it was kind of noisy in my house when I was recording this, so we had to take it outside. Two, I'm gonna be jumping back and forth to FL Studio throughout the video to show you guys some examples. And three, the first few tips are gonna be more music theory based. The ones after that, and arguably the most important, are gonna be more general and can be applied to any area of creativity. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go for a walk. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna talk about is music theory. And I know, yes, you probably heard this a billion times over before, but guess what? Music theory is pretty much your GPS to driving. You can make a cool melody, but you won't know how to get there again. You won't know how to make that same exact melody if you don't know exactly what you're doing when it comes to music theory. And that brings us to our second tip inside FL Studio, which is space. You have to leave space for the artist. It doesn't matter if your melody is on a Beethoven level. If an artist doesn't feel like they can fit on the melody, it's not going to work, and they'll just move on to the next producer. Alright guys, now that we're in FL Studio, I want to show you guys a sample that I made a while back and tell you why I feel like this is a good example of space. I'm going to go ahead and play it so you guys can listen to it. The reason why this melody works so well is for a couple of reasons. Number one, I have a very simple call and response technique going on. This would be the call right here, and here comes the response, and that kind of repeats throughout the sample over and over again. So what all of that is doing is just creating a very distinct pocket for your drums and your artist to fit on. Alright, so now that we know a little bit about music theory, the first thing we're going to get into is called the upbeat. The upbeat, what is the upbeat? Downbeats would be every 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I'm having a steady beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The upbeat is the spaces in between those accented beats. So it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Every and would be the upbeat. Whoop the f***ing do, another vegan. You can bang on your chest and count to 4. Now, how in the world is that supposed to help me make better melodies? Alright, bro, just chill. Give me a couple seconds and let me explain. Damn. Alright, guys, so to give you an example of what I mean, I pulled up a different sample that I feel like has a nice little bounce to it. Now, the notes that get played in between the metronome hits are going to give the melody that extra bounce that it needs. So, for example, I chopped up this sample, so only the notes that played on the accented beats are playing. So here's what that sounds like. Alright, so now let's go ahead and listen to the original melody and see how much bounce it has. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Way more bounce. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to go ahead and give you another example. Alright, so let's go ahead and do the same thing with the second sample I have here. And here's what it sounds like with the rest of the notes in between the metronome. Bro, it's a huge difference. Like this. Way more bounce. So how do we tie this back to creating better melodies? Well, your melodies will have more bounce if you focus on the spaces in between the stronger beats. And when your melodies have more bounce and more energy, your drums are automatically going to be a lot catchier and feel a lot more lively. Alright guys, now that we've gotten through those tips in FL Studio, I want to talk about something that I feel like can help you in every aspect, in every field of work, of art, of creativity. I feel like these things can really change the game for you if you really hone in these skills and learn how to change this up. So the first thing I want to talk about is flow state. Flow state is pretty much the perfect balance of challenge and being comfortable at the same time. Have you guys ever felt like 3-4 hours have passed by and it's actually only been 20 or 30 minutes? That was actually your body entering the flow state and being so focused that it kind of loses track of time and space itself. Runner's high is an example of that, or dead stroke for people who play pool. And the last thing I want to talk about is pretty much your brain patterns and your typical everyday routine and how that can be affecting your creativity. Think about it like this: your brain is pretty much doing the same exact thing every single day. You wake up around the same time, you brush your teeth around the same time, hopefully. You go to school or work at the same time and get out at the same time. You're just doing the same things over and over again. And guess what? When it comes to your creativity, when it comes to you writing melodies, making beats, making music, writing songs, it's the same thing. Your brain is going through the same patterns over and over again, and that is detrimental to your creativity. We have to change the way our brains think. We have to change the experiences that we have before we go into our creative state, so that when we do go into that creative state, we're now going into it with a different experience than we usually are, therefore resulting in better melodies, better paintings, better songs, better whatever it is. That's all we're trying to do at the end of the day, is experience new things, be more productive. And if that's what we have to do, if we have to change things up to do that, then that's what we're gonna do. And that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna sit here and chill out, because that is something that I don't usually do and something that I'm not good at, just chilling out. Thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for listening, and that's it. Bang, I'm out.